There she is. Well, here comes the little liar on pants on fire.
Liar, liar, pennies on fire.
Yeah. So why are you sneaking into hospitals for quality content and
Oh,
being all crazy?
you
What
know.
possessed you to do that? That was scary at the
That
end.
that was dramatic and dramatic. That
It
is
was
the
scary,
only
and
part that
your
shook me.
human rights were violated, no doubt. They did not have to go that extra, and anyone that wants to pounce you for what you did, actually, what the comment that the punishment didn't fit the crime,
Right.
1,000,000%.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I was calm as a cucumber. Here's the thing, Marissa. Honestly speaking, I had to, in my mind, listen, I had to make a decision really quick on property. To listen, cops, listen, they were hot and they were heavy, and I mean that was very evident from the get-go, all of them. I mean I was trying to figure out who was security, who was PD. I mean I was trying to figure out who the hell were these people. Who were they? What were their positions? Because they were just firing all over the place. But we'll get to that. But at the end, let me tell you, when the security guard pulled up or whatever, they were going to finally take me to get my vehicle. First of all, I never anticipated getting in a vehicle. It was a rather short walk. I just assumed we were going to walk it. But whatever, they put me in the car. They put me in the front seat, which I thought was odd because the officer, the guy, the loudmouth was actually from the police department. The guy driving was the security personnel from St. Jude. Now, the loudmouth officer who was first on scene right there, really giving me a hard time. He had also been physical with me, basically assaulting me, which was you couldn't see on camera. But as we were walking, he was really getting physical with me, with using his upper body to my body as he was walking me. It was when he was saying, I like to walk fast, and he started bucking me the whole way with his body. So the thing is, when he decided to get in that vehicle with us and sit directly behind me, it made me feel completely uncomfortable. And then when he said, "Turn this camera off," I become shook at that point, because now I'm a female. No female officers present. The only female officer on scene had a clear problem with trans women. She made that quite clear. So here's the thing. I'm a female in a vehicle with two men. One of them has been pretty aggressive, started off aggressive, has been aggressive, and is now being verbally aggressive again, sitting directly behind me and insisting I turn my camera off. I asked to get out of the vehicle, and he says I can't get out of the vehicle. I go to grab the door handle, and the doors are locked. They've got me locked in the vehicle, and insisting that I turn the camera off. Now, keep in mind, what brought me to Memphis, people, is Tyre Nichols. That's what brought me to. So you have to think. Listen, that's my impression of Memphis PD. So I've got that resonating in my head. I've already got this complete overblown reaction that these people, the treatment they get. Listen, only a couple minutes of this happened on St. Jude property. This is what you got to understand. Everything else took place on public property after this major threat that I posed was already disarmed, right? They removed the threat within a minute or two of their arrival. I was no longer a threat, but all of this lengthy drama took place on public property. So St. Jude had nothing to do with it other than this point, other than my vehicle still being in a parking garage. I was never a threat from all that time period to St. Jude or its precious children or at sick children at that point. None of it, right? So that was the only time I was shook. And they started driving me, and they took me into this garage. They took me into this first level, and then they stopped the car. They paused the car, and this other squad car, the blue SUV pulled up in front, and it almost looked like they were kind of barricading a spot. And we weren't on the level where my vehicle was. I could see my vehicle slightly up on the other level. And I remember saying, my vehicle's right over there. And why aren't we going to my vehicle? Listen, this is when I was shaking my boots, but my camera was still running. Now, we had a little bit of a black, the video kind of cut back on because we weren't getting the best signal. So it was shortened a little bit. But the ride did take a little bit longer than it shows in that video. But no, luckily I was not harmed. They did get me to my vehicle, but damn it, it was scary. That part was scarier than hell because I thought, listen, this is where it's time to pay the piper. This is like, okay, all right, bitch.
No water, no contact with family, no access to medical care. Tonight, a former inmate at the Shelby County Jail says the conditions inside 201 Poplar are inhumane. Action News 5's Joyce Peterson talked with the man and with advocates for the incarcerated. Joyce.
Yeah, Joy, the Shelby County Jail, 201 as we locals call it, is supposed to be a temporary holding facility for the 2,300 inmates who are awaiting their day in court. But all too often that wait turns to weeks, months, even years. And in recent days, we've received multiple emails from family members and recently released inmates complaining about what they say are dangerous conditions inside 201.
It's absolutely inhumane to treat people the way they treat them down there.
Jesse Foster just spent 6 days at 201 Poplar. He says inmates in the county jail weren't allowed to shower or make phone calls. And he says he was denied access to his asthma inhaler.
You're like a couple of dogs in a cage.
I think these people are about to fucking beat the shit out of you or something. Something's going down. But no, luckily, I was able to get to my vehicle finally, and I was able to get the hell out of there and just go about my business. I was calm through it all because I had to be calm because they weren't. Somebody on that scene had to be calm, and I had my tone. I had to set the tone in that, and I was not going to respond to their bullshit tone because I know a lot of it. Some of it has to do with their training. Some of it has to do with this is how they take command of a situation, and this is how maybe they elicit responses from people. But listen, it was way too hot and heavy the entire time. And, you're supposed to de-escalate a situation. That's what they're trained to do. And at the end of the day, there was really not a whole lot to de-escalate because I was not fired up. I was never ramped up. I was not physically combative in any way. I wasn't verbally combative. I might have been a little sasspot here and there, but definitely not combative in any way.
Yeah.
So
no, you aren't. I can agree with that.
Right, but I had to make sure through that whole thing that they were going to eventually respond on my level. I was never going to rise to the occasion of their bullshit, and I wasn't going to get caught up. Or were they going to break me or whatever they were going to do to get me to respond with their wacky dacky yelling in my face, pack mentality bullshit. I have drilled it to my audience. I have drilled it to the day I started coming on. No matter how heinous or how ugly a situation is, if it's on YouTube, you've got to be able to make it entertaining. You've got to be able to make it entertaining. So I had to be able to make this situation entertaining for my people. Okay, so there's that. And then listen, but you were looking for a side door. Shut the fuck up, people. Let me tell you, I'm an entertainer. Okay,
your turn. Everyone gets it. It's everybody gets a turn. Every creator gets a turn.
I'm used to this.
You are?
Now they know the difference between looking at a drag queen and they know what a drag queen looks like. This is not drag. Oh. But I thank you.
Hey, at least you didn't get called a Karen when you did absolutely nothing wrong.
No. You shouldn't have been there in the first place. Fuck off.
You're a Karen because you were born.
Yeah. Fuck off. Listen, if I shouldn't have been there in the first place, they shouldn't have let me in there in the first place. That's because you know what? At the end of the day, if I would have been hurt in that property, and if those hot and heavy officers would have came through and tasered me, beat me, shot me, you can bet your ass there'd be a fucking lawsuit filed on my behalf or from me directly. You'd bet your ass.
Female trouble. Well, honestly, I did worry for your safety at one point. I did feel like your civil rights were violated. It got very scary when you were in that vehicle. And
there was nothing big about my selfie stick. It was retracted. So there you go.
So there were no private property signs at all?
Nothing visible, nothing that any normal person would take. Like I said, it wasn't Area 51. It will, it wasn't like, do you understand what I'm saying? It wasn't, put it this way, there wasn't anything that I would have taken notice of that says, hey, you better stop right here and wait for somebody to return to this guard shack. For instance, we don't know all the shit these YouTubers told the 911 dispatcher about this, this man-woman stalking the YouTube, so we don't know what these haters did or said to the 911 dispatch to have them show up.
Mallory's not a drag queen. You got to get your sectors right.
They know that. That's a hate comment. So that's not, that's not, they understand what listen, drag queens are mainstream now. They know the difference between looking at a drag queen and they know what a drag queen looks like. This is not drag. I have to say Memphis was a success from a YouTube standpoint. My trip to Memphis was a hit. Because in its own right, I mean, my Black Lives Matter t-shirt.
Oh, my sister watched it. She was looking at it and she goes, is she fucking for real?
Holy shit. That took a lot of coverage. I mean, that shit took off and people were just, holy shit. And people were like, where can I get one? Listen, you've gone out. I mean, it was a short time, but we've gone out for dinner. I didn't get any cockeyed looks from any fucking servers or people next to us. We were just three chicks having dinner. It was just that. We didn't get any weird, the way that he was treating me and bucking me and being an asshole like he would be to some dude, and she just couldn't wait. That fucking lady, she couldn't wait to see my fucking mail ID so that they could begin to start to dehumanize me that way, But do you notice how everything just kind of subsided in a particular way once they got my identification in hand? Once it really just changed. The dynamics changed. Here's the thing. They were definitely not physically combative anymore. At one point in the video, you should be able to hear me say, "Don't touch me, get your hands off me," or something like that. Yeah. Because people were touching me in all kinds of directions. And I'm telling you, that little fucking Officer Taylor, that female officer, I know she was bitter as cat shit because he handed her my ID. So she looked at it too. I mean, and then she handed it back and they're playing show and tell with my fucking ID. That's why at the end I said, bitch, you saw my identification. You saw my ID, and she was still trying to be snatchy with it. But what could she do? She saw it. Okay, go ahead. Next question. While you're waiting for your next question, do you want me to mention my lie?
That's what I was going to ask you about it. So everyone's coming down on you because you lied. I know. Yeah, you're a baby killer. You burned down an old folks' home. You're a piece of shit. You chopped off 50 heads. I know. I know you burned down a Burger King. You're a serial killer. I got you. I got you.
Okay. The lie. Here's the thing. I want everybody, because a lot of people, they don't know where St. Jude is located, other than a lot of them probably didn't even know it was in Memphis. So it sits downtown Memphis, right in the heart of downtown.
Right off the highway.
It's not in a rural part of it's not Area 54 surrounded in barbed wire and fences. It's just a hospital right in downtown, right in the downtown, right by the exits and the buildings and everything else. So I imagine something. To me, when people, it's not a museum, it's not a tourist attraction. To me, I disagree. It is a tourist attraction. It may as well be a tourist attraction. It's a very famous, iconic place. They've got commercial. We've all seen the commercials for it. We've all been involved with it somehow. So to me, it is like one of those places. If you go to Memphis, you'd probably want to see the goddamn place. To me, it just is a place that you'd want to see and possibly visit, to me. So all those people say, who in the right mind would want to visit it? I think a lot of people
I've been there.
would want to visit it because it's just, it's famous. It's a landmark. It's, they do great things there. People are going nuts.
She wore a Black Lives Matter shirt in Memphis.
Oh my God, the haters were having a field day. And then, so yeah, listen, Memphis was definitely people. It was a worthy trip.
I'm worried about Princess, and I'm worried about my mother.
What's going on with Princess? And where's Justin? Why isn't he up here?
Justin's got the kids in the morning.
Oh.
What's the matter, Violet? Stop acting crazy. But yeah, I'm worried about them. I'm getting weird vibes lately. I'm just getting.
Oh my God, I had no idea what time it was.
What time is it?
It says 3:30. Is that what time it is?
Shut your fat motherfucking mouth.
Because my time is all screwed up. My time is so screwed up because I got home from the airport and I slept because I hadn't really gotten any sleep.
I just got back from the airport and I walked to her.
Oh my God. For some reason, I thought it was like 9 o'clock.
I did talk to husband about the furniture. He definitely does not want it. He said the contract. I still want the fucking furniture. And they're still doing their little investigation.
How are you going to be able to get out of your contract?
Huh?
Are you going to be
We
able to
don't
get out
know
of your
because they're still doing their little investigation. I'll tell you one thing now. Adrian said that her giving out Cash App and going on YouTube will not help that investigation at all.
Is she still employed with that franchise?
Adrian said that he did speak to the woman that is working with the other person doing the investigation, and the social media found out that someone hosted a fundraiser for her. So you guys just, I don't know why they do it. I don't know why they cause so much trouble for so many people. Just stay out of it, dude. So yeah, I just hope that you guys are gonna replenish her funds.
Okay, so listen, let me say this. Here's the thing. That's transphobic. And it's transphobic. Every time that people associate me with a male villain or a male anything is transphobic. So you can save that bullshit, B. Please and thank you.
Yeah, and well, guess what? If she got 3,000, they're gonna have to keep giving her more and more and more, right? Because that's gonna contribute to her making it look bad, right? Because if they already saw the video and they're doing their investigation, that means that they were gonna keep her on as a manager, but they're making it look worse. So yeah, she will have no one to blame but herself for wanting to push it on social media and the people that host it. You can blame yourselves. Definitely not me. And no, for the people asking if I'm worried that she has my address, absolutely not. And no, there will be no lawsuits against Ashley Furniture. That's stupid. You brought it to YouTube. She has a right to defend herself. I
She has the right to defend herself here.
Yeah, I get to defend. I get to put it on YouTube because that's what I fucking do. And she came in. Mallory, what do you think of a girl saying that I came in there intentionally for clicks and views, that it was planned? I planned this. I planned to go in there after she hung up on me and Adrian, right? Go ahead. That I
At
planned.
its baseline, I like to just go to the baseline. It's simple there for me. At its baseline, if Marissa and Betty went in there for clicks and views, that is their job. They are YouTubers first and foremost. That's their job. See, she also has a job. What's her name? Phasia. We'll just call her Miss F. Listen, she also has a job that she's paid to do. And that job is to handle difficult situations and difficult customers as part of her job.
I didn't go there to record.
That's just it. We understand that, Marissa. But at the baseline, okay? If you have two people coming into your store with cameras or otherwise being difficult, especially in a position of leadership, you have to handle them in the most respectful and professional way that you can, right? And listen, if it gets to a point where you can no longer handle them yourself, that's when you have to call security, call the owner of the store, call the police, do what you have to do otherwise. But what you don't do is sit there and give them further content by being combative, by becoming the star of the show, by getting up off your ass and walking all the way around the desk in a very forceful way or a threatening manner.
I don't fuck around with people at the airport, in restaurants, in any sort of anywhere where there's I don't do that. I've never had problems in hotels. I don't act like that. I don't send.
It's just like food. I would have never thought to start my camera just before driving through the gates of St. Jude either, right? Because I didn't go there with any
your intent, because that wasn't your intent.
Exactly. But now looking back, I wish I would have started that camera before driving through the gate, just so people could see exactly how I entered that property and how.
But you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. Let's call that. I want you to know why me and Betty. Thank you, Curly. This is why me and Betty went. Okay, now you're going to hear it. This is the corporate number. 1-866-436. Okay, 3393. Listen very carefully to what she says. I think that's the wrong number. I don't care about the roaches. That's what they are. And their channels will never grow. They'll never make money. And that's it. That's it. They'll never grow. So
no, because channels like us have the original content.
Well, we have personalities. And the thing is a lot of them lie. And they're getting caught in lies.
Right.
And now people are getting it. And they're coming over here and they're saying, they're lying, and that's going to destroy them. And Mallory just got caught in a lie, but you got caught lying so you're not lying to your subs. You lied to the ladies at St. Jude.
Right. Like, again, I like to clarify the lie by saying, I was going to have lunch with my mother. I prefer to tell just say the lie instead of just calling me a liar.
I'm a snob. But no. She's known for that?
Well, notice how that's why they keep saying she shouldn't have lied. She shouldn't have lied. She shouldn't have lied.
She knows that now. You know that now, right? Right?
Say it again.
You know that now, right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they're just
Grasping.
they don't really want to talk about the lie itself. They just, because they know it's so minute and bullshit. The lie,
is.
it's like saying, this is what I want to say, people. I hate to whatever this holier than thou image you've had of me up until that moment. I might have told 101 little white lies in my lifetime, and that was just another little white lie I said in hopes of getting into a fucking cafeteria. So again, I want to say to all you people that just want to type one more time, I know, but she never should have lied in the first place, in the most kindest way possible. Only in that point itself, fuck off, okay? just fuck off. Jesus Christ, move on. I have. Okay. It's the whole fucking city's made of fucking Hershey Kiss chocolatiers. Oh, God, little young chocolate boys. The whole fucking city's made of fucking Hershey Kiss chocolatiers. Oh, God, little young chocolate boys. Mallory, I'm just saying chocolate boys. Chocolate boys made of chocolate. Not talking about my black brothers, not my kings. I'm talking about little chocolate boys. Holy shit.